If you looked at the final score and thought this was just another World Cup match, let me tell you something. You missed the real story. Because yes, England won. Yes, Harry Kane scored again. Yes, Jude Bellingham once again showed why so many people consider him one of the best players on the planet. But when the final whistle blew, millions of people weren't talking about the goals. They were talking about something else. And that something else has opened a debate that could follow this World Cup all the way to the final. So sit back, relax, and stay with me. Because today we're not just talking about football, we're talking about pressure, expectations, controversy, and a moment that has divided fans around the world. Because sometimes the score tells one story, but what happens around the score tells a much bigger one, and that's exactly what happened between England and Croatia. From the moment this World Cup began, one team arrived carrying a different kind of pressure than everyone else. That team is England. It doesn't matter who the manager is, it doesn't matter how many stars are on the squad, it doesn't matter how talented the generation may be. The same question always follows them: is this finally the year? Is this finally the tournament where England returns to the top of world football? Because we're talking about the country that gave football to the world. A nation with arguably the most powerful league on the planet. A nation that produces world-class talent year after year. And yet, World Cup after World Cup, the story often ends the same way. Massive expectations, huge dreams, painful disappointment. That's why this opening match mattered so much. It wasn't just about winning, it was about convincing. It was about making a statement. It was about showing the world that this England team is different. Standing across from them was a nation that knows exactly how to ruin the dreams of football giants. Croatia, a small country with a massive football identity, a team that reached a World Cup final, a team that consistently punches above its weight, a team that never gives anything away for free. And in the opening minutes, you could feel it. The tension was everywhere. Every pass felt important, every tackle carried weight. Both teams knew exactly what was at stake. Because losing your opening World Cup match can completely change the course of your tournament. And when the game kicked off, that pressure was impossible to ignore. Then England started to take control. Slowly, patiently, confidently. Every time Jude Bellingham touched the ball, something felt possible. Every time Harry Kane moved into space, Croatia's defenders looked nervous. England wasn't just attacking. They were imposing themselves, and that's when you begin to understand why so many analysts believe this team can go all the way. Because talent has never been England's problem. They've always had talent. What they've often lacked is composure, the ability to stay calm under pressure, the ability to manage big moments. And on this day, they looked mature, focused, disciplined. When the first goal arrived, the stadium exploded. England fans celebrated as if they had been waiting years for this moment, and maybe they had. Croatia tried to respond, because Croatia always responds. That's what makes them dangerous. But England answered back, again, and again, and again, building a lead that reflected their dominance for large parts of the match. Everything seemed to be going perfectly. Until suddenly, something unexpected happened. Something that nobody thought would become one of the biggest talking points of the day. The referee stopped the game. Players walked toward the sidelines. Some grabbed water. Others listened to instructions from their coaches. In theory, nothing unusual. It was simply a hydration break. A safety measure introduced because of the extreme conditions. But then the boos started. At first, only a few. Then more. Then thousands. The sound grew louder and louder. And almost instantly, social media exploded. Why are fans booing? What's going on? The answer sparked a massive debate. Because some fans believe hydration breaks are absolutely necessary. Player safety must come first. The temperatures are high, the physical demands are extreme. Protecting players should never be optional. But others see things differently. They believe these interruptions kill the rhythm of the game. They believe football loses part of its magic when momentum is constantly interrupted. And here's the interesting part. Both sides have a valid argument. Put yourself in the player's shoes. You're running nonstop. Your body is under incredible stress. You're exhausted. A break probably sounds like a blessing. Now put yourself in the fans' shoes. You've waited years for this World Cup. The game is building momentum, the tension is rising, the atmosphere is electric, and suddenly everything stops. Can you see why people disagree? Because there isn't an easy answer. And whenever there isn't an easy answer, the internet does what it always does. It argues. Millions of opinions, millions of comments, millions of people convinced they're right. Meanwhile, the game continued. But the conversation had already changed. People were no longer talking only about football. Now they were talking about the future of football, about entertainment, about how much the game can change before it stops feeling like the game people fell in love with. And if that wasn't enough, another controversy was still waiting. The penalty. Because what would a World Cup be without a penalty debate? Harry Kane stepped up. He struck the ball. Goal. England celebrated. But moments later, the referee made his decision. The penalty had to be retaken. Immediately, the debate exploded. Was it the correct decision? Was it too strict? Are officials applying the rules too aggressively? Replays flooded social media, fans argued, pundits argued, former players argued. Everyone seemed to have an opinion. Kane stepped up once again, and once again, he scored. But by then, it didn't matter. The controversy had already taken over the conversation. Because in modern football, a single refereeing decision can dominate headlines around the world within minutes. And that's exactly what happened. Still, it would be unfair to focus only on the controversy. Because England did something extremely important, they looked like contenders. And that's not always easy. But there's a difference between having talented players and carrying the expectations of an entire nation. Harry Kane delivered. Jude Bellingham delivered. The team delivered. And perhaps most importantly, they looked confident. Not perfect, not unstoppable, but confident. Like a team that understands the opportunity in front of them, like a team that truly believes it can win this tournament, and maybe that's the biggest story of all, because champions often start this way. Not by being flawless, not by avoiding controversy, but by finding ways to win while the pressure keeps growing. Now, does this mean England will win the World Cup? Of course not. The journey is only beginning. Much tougher challenges are ahead. Much bigger tests are coming. There will be moments when the pressure becomes even greater, but if anyone doubted England's potential before today, those doubts are becoming harder to justify. At the same time, one thing has become very clear. The 2026 World Cup is not going to be free from controversy. We're only getting started. We've already seen debates about refereeing, debates about hydration breaks, debates about the future of the sport, debates about the fan experience, and that means we're almost guaranteed to see many more heated discussions in the weeks ahead. In the end, England won 4-2. That's what the statistics will remember. That's what history books will record. But years from now, when people look back at this match, they may remember something else as well. The boos, the arguments, the controversy, the debate that spread across the football world. Because football is never just about goals, it's never just about results, it's about emotions, it's about stories, it's about moments that bring millions of people together. And this match delivered all of that, so now I want to hear from you. Were the hydration breaks necessary, or are they hurting the flow of the game? Should Kane's penalty have been retaken? And most importantly, do you believe England has what it takes to win the 2026 World Cup? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this World Cup coverage, make sure to subscribe because the tournament is only just beginning. And the biggest stories may still be ahead. And before you leave, there's one last thing I want to say. If you've made it all the way to this point in the video, thank you. Seriously, out of the millions of videos available on YouTube right now, you chose to spend part of your day here with me, listening to my thoughts about the World Cup, football, and the stories that make this sport so special. And that means a lot more than you probably realize, because behind every video, there are hours of research, writing, editing, recording, and trying to create something worth your time. I'm not a giant media company, I'm not a television network, I'm just someone who loves football and loves talking about the biggest stories in the game. And to be completely honest with you, I'm currently without a job. Right now, this channel is one of the projects I'm fighting to build. So if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to help me, I want to ask for a very small favor. You don't need to donate anything, you don't need to buy anything, you don't need to spend any money at all. Just hit the subscribe button, and if you think this video was interesting, share it with one friend. That's it. One friend. Because every single subscriber helps this channel grow. Every share helps more people discover these videos, and every comment tells YouTube that this community is alive and growing. The truth is, channels don't grow because of algorithms, they grow because of people. People like you, and if this channel ever becomes something big in the future, the people watching these videos right now will be the reason why. You'll be the ones who were here from the beginning, the ones who helped build this community one video at a time. So if you're still listening, leave a comment below and tell me where you're watching from. Tell me which country you're supporting in the World Cup, and tell me who you think is going to lift the trophy when it's all over. I read far more comments than you might think, and I genuinely enjoy seeing football fans from all over the world sharing their opinions. And who knows, maybe your comment will be featured in the next video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching until the end. Thank you for supporting independent creators, and thank you for helping me continue chasing this dream. Enjoy the World Cup, stay safe, keep believing in your team, and remember, the biggest stories of this tournament are still waiting to be written. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, and thank you for being part of this journey.